about to see the evidence in case 562011 CF000340A.
On December 7, 2010, St. Louis County Sheriff's deputies responded to the residence of Ashley Pollow.
My name is Jessica Pollow, and I am Ashley Pollow's daughter. My father ran his law practice from home. He had this huge house, it was a huge property. He did tax law, and I know he helped out a lot of people.
Ashley Pollow had not been heard from for a few days, and one of his former employees was concerned.
There was a lot of boxes on the front porch, which was odd. And when the deputy got inside and searched the house, Mr. Pollow wasn't there.
According to the deputy that was there on scene, they noticed that there was a hatched door, and it looked like it was some sort of storm shelter. And they saw that there was a padlock and a piece of chain link on it. So that seemed a little suspicious to authorities right off the bat. The only purpose to have a storm shelter is to have a safe, fast place to go to get away from a really bad storm. And of course you wouldn't have a lock on it. It just doesn't even make any sense.
We decided, you know what, we gotta go in there and look and see what's going on in there.
So the responding deputies went and grabbed some tools out of their vehicle and gained access into the shelter and found a body inside the shelter. We're able to identify the body as Ashley Pollow. It appeared that the body had burns on him. It was obvious that it was a homicide.
Detectives believed that Mr. Pollow's body had been burnt, that it burnt fast and went out quickly. We initially thought there had been a fire and that this was a dump site in this storm bunker because the fire had not gone on in the bunker.
When we were looking at the body down in the storm shelter, there was some type of fluid at the bottom of the shelter. We sent that liquid and they put it in like paint cans, and they called us up and said, hey, this liquid's eating through the paint cans. You guys wanna come address this issue? So we had to send people out, and then they're like, well, it's an acid. That's why it's eating through the tin paint cans. We went and spoke with the medical examiner again, and he was like, oh yeah, that's a chemical burn.
For somebody to disfigure a body with acid is very rare. I have never, in my 17 years, have experienced that.
Honestly, there are no words for getting the news that your father has been murdered. No one deserves this type of tragedy to happen to them.
One of the things that came out about Ashley Pollow is that he was a brilliant tax lawyer, but he could be very erratic. He could get angry on just a turn of a dime. Because of his personality and his business, he had a few clients that were not happy with him.
We had to start from ground zero, pull out all the stops because the area was wide of people that could have done it.
Ashley didn't leave his house hardly ever. So it had to have been someone that came to his house and interacted with him.
So we went back through all of the photographs that crime scene had taken, and we noticed a small area, 1.5 by 1.5 feet, that appeared somebody had been wiping on the carpet. So we went back over to the house, we pulled the carpet back, and sure enough, there was blood evidence there.
This additional information would lead them to believe that the murder had happened in his office. And the people that rose to the top of that list were people that worked for him.
We had to start out with current employees, which was Michelle Lockridge and Thomas Bernard.
Those were the last two working for him, really, in his house at the time of his murder.
Thomas, we didn't gather a whole lot out of him. He claimed that he was Ashley Pollow's like right-hand man and kind of played himself as being like Ashley's best friend. Michelle Lockridge is on probation for credit card fraud and theft. I started pressuring her initially about her timeline. Her timeline was kind of messed up. Things just didn't square up.
Shortly after the murder, Michelle violated her probation because she wasn't allowed to leave Indian River County unless she had permission from her probation officer.
So we got a hold of her probation officer for violating her conditions of her probation, which put her in jail.
I was outside pressure washing my patio, and she called me from the jail, and I answered it. And she says, "Oh, I got some evidence that you need." And I said, "The only thing that we would need from you is if you could give us some physical evidence that we could verify." And she says, "Well, how about if I bring you to where the keys to the lock are?" And I thought, all right, now we're talking. She explained that Thomas had taken the keys and put them in a cigarette box and hidden them near one of their friends' house.
Obviously, she was trying to save herself and try to get us to focus on Thomas without ultimately saying Thomas did it.
So she took us to where this key was. And lo and behold, it did fit the lock.
We start looking into Thomas Bernard.
Finding the key was crucial to us to say, all right, you are on the right track of who you think did this.
It really read like a Hollywood script. But then it's like, no, you can't even make this stuff up. Authorities found out that Thomas Bernard and Michelle Lockridge were a couple.
Ashley was upset with her because he believed that she was stealing from him. We learned through interviews with Michelle that Thomas went down there, confronted Ashley about him wanting to turn Michelle in. They got into an argument. Thomas choked and killed Ashley. And then Michelle went down there and tried to move the body. So that put her as being involved. They were trying to take over Ashley Pollow's business.
It just sucks not having a dad. I recently got married, and your dad's supposed to walk you down the aisle, and I didn't have that. I'm now pregnant, and he won't have a grandfather. We all watch these shows and we all think that, just another case and their story, but this is my father. This is something that's a part of me forever.